everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello and welcome. My name is Tia and I help ambitious women become profitable social media managers and virtual assistants. Or if you're just trying to market your online business, this is a place for you. Please make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and like this video so that I can keep posting helpful content for you. Today's video is going to be an overview of the basics of what you should know and the systems that you should use as a beginner and starting out as a basic freelancer. Now, September is going to be dedicated to all systems. So every Friday, I'm going to go in depth into the systems and the apps that I used to like to run my social media agency. Also, it is good to note that these systems are at a very low cost or they're free. So it's not like you have to have a ton of money to become a social media manager or a virtual assistant, because I'm going to give you some free tools and tips and tricks throughout this month of September to help you become successful. So stay tuned. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So what is social media management? People think social media management is super easy and that anybody can do it, and that all you have to do is just post on social media platforms and poof, you're a social media manager. Let me tell you, that is the last and most basic way of thinking that you can do, because there's so much more that goes into it if you want to actually be successful and make a ton of money. This also is where the mindset of becoming super successful and staying a freelancer, getting paid the lower cost pricing comes into play. A social media manager has the responsibility of creating a strategy and implementing this to get the client's results. Now, this can include managing and monitoring. Monitoring is like social listening to what's kind of going around in the world. What are other people posting? What is the talk on the street? And then you're also implementing the goal of bringing brand awareness to your client, which of course brand awareness is who that client embodies, what their vision is, and what they want their voice to be coming out of their social media platforms. Of course, this is also to increase their marketing efforts and sales. I mean, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You're trying to make a brand awareness and create a strategy for these clients and these businesses and companies so they have increased sales and revenue. Another thing that's really important about knowing what a social media manager does is knowing that you are going to be creating graphics, possibly blogs, SEO, which is search engine optimization, so you'll have to know how to do that. Knowing your KPIs, key performance indicators, so these are going to tell you what content works for the audience that they like, that they're targeting, or the ones that aren't working, because you need to know. Either way, if it's negative, you still need to know how to reroute your whole strategy and fix that. Then you want to also measure the analytics and your success in the campaign. What's working, what's not working, what are people searching for? And then my biggest thing is using organic growth tactics to increase followers, increase in their audience. It really comes down to building a loyal fan base. Also, the biggest thing too is you want to have really great time management skills, because if you don't have time management skills, you will not succeed, because you could be juggling 5 to 10 customers at once, creating all kinds of content and whatever. Maybe one client wants something different and the other wants something else done. You need to have good time management skills. I'm gonna say that right now. So number 2 that I wanna talk about is, what does it take to be a social media manager? You don't have to necessarily have the bachelor's degree in marketing or the certifications from some type of associate's degree or anything like that technically. Now, I highly suggest to get certifications. You can go to Google Garage, you can go to HubSpot, you can go to Hootsuite, you can go to Facebook Blueprint, just Udemy, whatever. Just anything where you can get certified, not only because it looks good when you're building your portfolio to send to the client, but it also keeps you up to date, because marketing tactics and social platforms and analytics change all the time. So you don't want to be stuck in something that worked back in 2015 and we're now heading into 2021 and we just have Reels now that just came out. So if you don't know what's going on and you just think what you learned back then is going to cut it, it's not going to cut it. You have to stay involved and know what is going on in the social media platform world so you can replicate that for your client. If you don't use it yourself, I mean, that's okay, but make sure you're using it for your client so that it keeps them in the loop and it shows that they are present and ready to be in the social world. There are so many different specializations that you can have being a social media manager or virtual assistant. It doesn't mean that you have to embody everything that a social media manager can do. You can have specializations like you specialize just in Instagram or you specialize in Facebook ads. I know a couple people who just specialize in Facebook ads. Content marketing, email marketing. What is the best skill set that you have that you want to grow upon? Because even though you're a social media manager, you can have those specific skill sets that you want to use. I know that my team, I have one that specializes in branding, and then I have one that specializes in strictly graphics. So two kind of different things, but very, very highly useful. So I would just suggest, think about what you love to do. Maybe it's just content marketing. Maybe it's just email marketing. You can do all the basic things a social media manager does, but to set yourself apart from everybody else, what is your skill that you would like to build upon? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be the expert on? That's the big question. The more experience that you can develop and have is obviously going to be way better for you. And if you don't have any of that experience just yet, I suggest you start now. If you want to be a social media manager or a virtual assistant, just start now because you're going to need to start building up upon your portfolio. And just kind of thinking about it, another thing that is really important about what to know about being a social media manager is that you're going to be also responsible for communicating with the client's followers, any DMs they get, emails, if that's a part of your packages. You're gonna have to be professional and speak as them. If you have a certain voice inside and it does not resonate with the client's customers and you start speaking to their customers like that, and then that's not what their brand voice is, you're gonna have a lot of difficulty because the client is then going to look down on you because you're not speaking into the way that they see that their business is going. Now, keep in mind, you will also need to continually do market research. What market research is, I will do a video a lot deeper into that on how to actually do that, because you're gonna have to see what the competitors are posting, what's getting them followers, what's getting them engagement, because you need to, in a way, replicate what they're doing for your client so that your client is then becoming boosted higher in the social media platform algorithm and that they are being seen, not the competitor, but them. That's your job. So if you can do that, good for you, because that's what your whole entire purpose is for being a social media manager. Is social media management, virtual assisting, is it right for you? Now, I'm gonna make this super simple. If you can confidently answer these questions that I'm gonna say coming up, then I believe social media management is right for you. If you don't have an answer to it or you feel really uncomfortable, I would say to do a little bit more research first and then come back to if this is right for you. Number one, copywriting. Social media managers do a lot of copywriting. And what I mean this, it could be copywriting for emails, it could be copywriting for ads, it could be copywriting for maybe a advertisement that you're going to be putting as a graphic, because those words truly matter. The psychological meaning to what you're putting on paper and what their ideal clients are taking in matters. Captions. Caption writing and copywriting are two completely different things, but I'll tell you, with caption writing, you need to know how to write as that client's voice, because again, it's the same thing with graphics. And when you're responding back to DMs or comments or anything like that, or doing community outreach, you have to have that voice. You have to embody your client's voice in the caption writing, in the copywriting, everything. Also, depending on what platform is very important. If you're writing on LinkedIn, you need to be professional. Don't shorthand it. Don't use little shortcuts and words and LOL kind of thing. It's a professional platform, so keep it professional. Instagram, YouTube, keep it conversational and light. It's okay. That's what it's there for. It's not super uptight like LinkedIn is, but just know your platform, okay? Know which platform you're writing on so that you can make the most of the algorithm and the people that are on that platform and looking for you or your client. So the question that goes with copywriting, can you do it? Number 2, research. A big part also, I know there's a lot of big parts, but a big part of social media management is research. You must stay up to date with all the changing algorithms, all the different platform changes in analytics. You need to understand who your ideal client is and what they want to see. You need to understand what your client's ideal target audience wants to see so that you can build their following and increase their sales and revenue. And you need to know how to pivot your strategy if it's needed. So my question for this part, are you willing to put in the work and research? Number 3, SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. Now, we've talked about it in my group before. There can be a whole thing just dedicated to SEO on its own. However, to keep it super simple, when you pay attention to SEO, so keyword searches, what are people searching for that will bring them to your client or bring them to you? You need to understand how to use that so that you can use that exposure on social media so that that drives the traffic to your client. Because if you don't have proper SEO, no one's gonna find you. You can have all the great content in the world, all the best captions, but if you don't have the best SEO, no one's gonna find it, no one's gonna see it, and then it's all that work down the drain. So my question to you on this one, are you willing to adapt and learn SEO and keep on learning SEO? Number 4, social media expertise. But you're probably thinking, well, obviously I'm a beginner, Tia. That's why I'm watching these videos and I'm in your group because I'm a beginner. And the thing is, you still have to have skills to be a social media manager, even as a beginner. Now, the skills that I'm talking about are not like you can create this whole, I don't know, like this whole elaborate strategy day one for your first client and you knock it out the ballpark. If you do, congratulations. But the type of expertise I'm talking about is just knowing and using your brain of what types of content that you need to post on each and every platform. Understand how to utilize them. Understand how to optimize each profile on each platform. If they have LinkedIn, make sure you know how to optimize that by using SEO keywords. Making sure that their I help statement or the products they sell is optimized. Make sure their pictures are optimized. Little things like that. Instagram, is their bio optimized? If I go to their page and I read the first bio, am I gonna know exactly what to expect from this page? Because if not, I'm gonna click off of it. I'm gonna go to the next person. And then also just knowing how to have engaging conversations with potential leads, potential followers, with the community, just having conversational skills and know how to engage. So my question for you on this one, do you have some of these social media expertise? Now what I wanna go over, and this is gonna be super quick because again, bringing it back to the beginning, September is all about systems. So you may be thinking now, okay, so I know what a social media manager is. I know what is expected of a social media manager. I've answered the questions to prepare myself to take on when becoming a social media manager. So what systems do I use? And that is a great question that comes up a lot because when you start out, this is a very low cost startup, especially if you want to work from home or anything, or you're trying to figure out what you can do. It's a very low cost way to start a business. What you're gonna obviously need to start off with is which scheduler are you going to use? Because this is where you can do batch uploading. So you create, say, like 15 graphics for the week, upload them, write your captions, get them set to auto post at certain times, boom, you're done. Now you focus on your organic growth for that client. I personally love Planoly just because I am a visual person. I love to see how everything is gonna lay out before it's actually posted. So I'll go into some really detailed tips about Planoly coming up next Friday. And I love Buffer. Buffer is really awesome because I use that for like my LinkedIn's and for my Facebook group, just so that I can have my content ready to be posted into the group. And then I don't really have to worry, because with those, sometimes you're gonna have graphics that go, but it's more of a free spirit. You don't have to necessarily have a cohesive Facebook group post of graphics or anything like that. It's more about content and getting people to engage. So the next thing is you'll want to establish a way to communicate with your client. I love Slack because I can create different channels, and I can have separate ones where I just put my ideas out. I can have one specifically for a client, and I can have one specifically for my team, and then I can have one specifically for my virtual assistant, and all of the tasks I put in there go directly to her. She can read it, give feedback, or do whatever I need her to do basically, or ask for her to do, and she'll get it, and then we communicate that way. Easiest way, super simple, super organized. Another way of communication I truly love that I've used with my clients is Google Drive. And I will be creating some additional resources when it comes with the YouTube video on how I use Google Drive to communicate, how I get them to approve posts and captions. Super simple stuff. And everyone really kind of knows how to use Google Drive. So I definitely suggest getting on there. And it's free, totally free. Another thing is you will need to understand how to create and send off your analytic reports at the end of the month, just to show what's working and what's not working, so that you can figure out what your next strategy move is next month. The nice thing about that is this also sees what kind of results that you're getting and what results that you need to change. And that's always a good thing, even though it seems like a bad thing. It's just knowing how to present that to your client. All right, you guys, thank you for sticking around. Remember that September is all about systems, and I'm gonna take a deep dive into the ones that I kind of mentioned earlier. Plus I have some special ones I wanna bring up and teach you guys, because everyone has a different work style. Everyone has a different work ethic, and how they like to use stuff. So I'm gonna give you more than what just I use, because if I use Planoly and you don't like Planoly, you're not gonna wanna use Planoly. But if I tell you Buffer this or Later this, and those are your tools that you wanna use, that's all I care about, is giving you the tools that you need to be successful. But again, coming up then these next couple weeks, I'll be going deep down and dive into each and every one of those systems so that you guys know how to use it. I'm gonna show you going through it so that you can actually follow along and see what it looks like. And it's gonna be great. It's truly gonna be great. So next week's video is gonna be all about planners. So like I mentioned before, Planoly, Later, Buffer, and then I have a few other surprises. So make sure that you guys are tuned in for that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn those notifications on so you're notified every single time I post another video on Fridays. And also because it shows me your support in my channel and the content that I'm posting. Also, make sure to go follow me on Instagram. I did just do a rebrand, so it's not Truly a Diamond Media anymore. It's instagram.com/TiaReshape. And go check out my Facebook group, Ambitious Digital Fempreneurs, so you can get more tips and tricks throughout the week leading up to these YouTube videos. All the links will be down in the description box below. But that's it for me. Again, thank you for hanging out with me today on this journey. I hope this brought a lot of value to you, and have a blessed and safe Labor Day weekend, and I'll see you guys next Friday.